It will come as no surprise to anyone that rich people enjoy certain benefits that the rest of us do not have. They're generally healthy, more satisfied with their lives, and most importantly, they have a ridiculous amount of money, which is really their own reward. The benefits of being rich have been equally debated by philosophers and amateur financial bloggers, and for good reason. Having a lot of money is really great. What they don't tell you, though, is that it also has some hidden ups and downs, most of which are largely undisputed because of the unspoken social stigma surrounding money. And no, we're not talking about issues like "my lawn is too big." Being rich comes with real problems that can potentially affect everything from your health to your personal relationships. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Boss Lux. Have you subscribed to be a part of the Boss Lux community yet? If not, then come and join us and never miss out on any of our latest, freshest uploads as soon as they're available. Now, kick back, relax, and let's sink our teeth into today's content. Number 10. Alcoholism. Even if we're not aware of it, many people instinctively associate alcoholism with financial stress and low income levels. Although there may be some connection between the two, we can say with certainty that it has nothing to do with money itself. In contrast, according to at least one study, alcoholism is more prevalent among the affluent sections of society. A study was conducted in more than 40 European nations. They found that countries such as the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Portugal drank the most alcohol, although each country had a different drinking rate. In almost all of Europe, the rich seem to drink more than the poor. While this may seem contradictory, other studies suggest that it's more about accessibility. Rich people drink a lot because they have a lot of alcohol. Number 9. Anxiety and depression. There's no doubt that being rich reduces stress and increases your overall level of satisfaction in life, although it also comes with some other mental issues. Being rich has been linked in many studies in the past to various mental disorders, such as high levels of anxiety, as well as some other issues you may not expect. For example, research has shown that young people living in affluent suburbs are more likely to show signs of disorder than urban children, such as those with high levels of anxiety and depression, narcissism, and substance abuse. Number 8. Making more money only makes you moderately happier. We assume that most of our problems can only be solved by having more money. But as we'll prove step by step with this list, it's not even close to being true. Being rich has to do with some short and long-term problems, and business is hardly worth it. Research also proves this. While it's true that making more money comes with a higher level of happiness, this applies unless you hit a certain number. Beyond that, more money has less effect on your level of happiness. This means that anyone with a total value of $10 million would be almost as happy as someone with $100 million, even if it still takes a lot of hard work to earn $90 million. Number 7. It's boring. One of the things that makes most people excited about being rich is the possibility of never having to work again. Imagine how much time you would have if you had a lot of money to spend your whole life. Has to work? Stay. It also gets quite boring. According to a millionaire, this is actually the biggest loss of making a lot of money. Working for food and shelter not only provides food and shelter, but also motivates us to work even better in life, mostly to get even better food and bigger shelter. This lack of motivation and drive often leads to other, bigger problems, such as depression. Number 6. It makes you more averse to taking risks. It's a common misconception that the richer you are, the more risk you can take than others, simply because you have more money to risk. While this line of reasoning may seem plausible, as rich people have a huge advantage in investing in a risky startup, science says that this is not the case, or at least not when a lot of money is involved to take more risk. This only applies when the amount is relatively small. When it comes to money compared to their total wealth, they're actually the safest spenders we know of. Number 5. Stress. Given how bad the job market is at the moment for almost everyone, it's reasonable to assume that the most stressed part of the workforce will be younger and poorer. The millennial and other young generations are also seen under more stress than the previous generation. From rising student debt to exorbitant property rents in most urban areas around the world, things don't look good to anyone who is old and not working. More than reality, quite a few studies show that older and richer workers actually report much higher levels of work-related stress than their younger counterparts. While this may mean that more money comes with more stress, it may also mean that younger, less experienced professionals are more tolerant of everyday work problems. Number 4. Wealth guilt. As the world prepares to experience another economic downturn, the gap between what it has and what it doesn't have has widened. No matter where you look, there's a growing and rapidly spreading wave of growing inequality and dissatisfaction against the excesses of power and money, the first since the 2008 financial crash came to mind. One of the social effects of the unrest is the growing awareness of the so-called wealth crime among the rich, which seems to be the case. The rich, even those who do it right and keep their business in mind, are taking steps to avoid becoming as rich as possible, which is the gut of the early 2000s. This is exactly the opposite of got it, flaunt it. Number 3. It makes you less generous. If you do a quick survey of everyone around you who donates to charity, you'll find that many people don't because they don't have enough cash. This is fairly reasonable and will even lead you to assume that qualities like generosity depend only on how much money you have. More money actually makes you more secure about what you have and as a result makes you less generous. Number 2. Less empathy. Making more money doesn't just make you more secure. Some research shows that the more power and money you have, the less sympathetic you'll be to the plight of others. While this may sound depressing, there are some valid evolutionary reasons for it. In our hunter-gatherer days, leaders were considered good at guiding, and it's said that any disturbance or sympathy towards an injured member of the pack was at stake, protect everyone else. Less empathy helped leaders improve their work and successfully transfer their genes. That's why people with more power rarely use it to fix things. They're not evolutionarily ready to do so. Number 1. Narcissism. It's unfair to paint any group with the same brush, although the stereotype of entitled brat is so wide that it has to be mentioned here. It's a common misconception that the richer you are, the more self-absorbed you are, no matter how accurate it is, really. At least 5 studies show that being rich is associated with more narcissistic tendencies, such as looking at oneself in the mirror regularly and entitlement. However, the reasons are not as simple as rich people are just bad. Having more money than others come with the social and psychological value of losing trust in the world around you, because you never know who really likes you for your money. It only takes you inward to find a solution, which is obviously not a very healthy way to live in a society, which leads to mental problems like narcissism. So due to all of these reasons, that is why rich people most commonly lose their friends. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode, all about 10 reasons why millionaires lose their friends. Do you agree with our list? Get involved and let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this one and found it helpful, remember to leave a like on the video and to subscribe to Boss Lux for even more amazing videos just like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.